Hello, everybody, and welcome to our IWC Radio review show, technically, of the Elimination Chamber. If you haven't heard, though, everything in the sporting world, almost with wrestling, has been kind of canceled with the coronavirus. So, I mean, the Elimination Chamber stuff was kind of an afterthought, but we'll cover that and a whole lot more here today. Joining me this evening, Chucks, Beans, and Will, the entire crew here. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Classic.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you all?
Alive.
That's a very important thing.
That's a bonus. Yeah.
Alive. I guess healthy, I suppose. But yeah, I'm hanging in there.
No cough.
No cough yet, thankfully. I also have toilet paper. There's some still in the closet here. Thankfully.
Excellent news.
I'm not one of those doomsday preppers that has to have every single item in abundance in like a garage somewhere. So I mean, you know, there's that. I just have like a mountain of laundry I still need to do. That's all.
I must admit, when I was doing my shopping a couple of days ago, I did, instead of buying 2 tins of beans, I bought 3.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So, shit's happening now.
Oh well, that's good phrasing because I've stocked up a little bit there on
Oh, no.
sharing a photo with you lot.
Oh my god.
Oh, what's this?
Is this actually from your Facebook? Look at this. Look at this.
Jesus Christ, what's that?
It's toilet paper.
Hang on, let me see.
Wow.
Enigma. So I assume that's like shitty one-ply.
Please tell me that isn't actually yours.
It's coreless too, so there's no hole in the middle.
Oh, that's even worse.
I mean, this is the prime stuff, right? This is toilet paper all the way through.
No.
Well, there is a fucking shortage.
Toilet paper with no hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Not even toilet paper. You just like, I don't know.
If you brought printer paper by
You've
mistake.
ordered luxury tissues or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, at this point, beggars can't be choosers. Sooner or later, you're going to come crawling back. I'm sorry, I demeaned your single ply paper, calling it all sorts of bad things. You know, like you've got all your double quilted Cushelle or whatever in your bathroom. You think you're fine for now, but you just wait.
What are these toilet paper brands? No, one-ply toilet paper is the worst.
Just use more.
I guess, but then at that point, you're
This
trying
is actually 2-ply.
Okay, well, if it's 2-ply, that's
And
fine.
no, it's not actually mine.
Okay, good.
God for that.
I mean,
You've gone mad.
it might be soon. I know where it is. You know,
Okay.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I like to see you try to carry all those
Are you
boxes out at one
stalking
time.
someone?
Talking
That's
about-
it. If you're gonna steal it, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
Do you need a driver?
Yeah, there's some guy that like bought like 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer and he can't resell them because of the.
I saw a picture of a guy buying 3 pallets of sanitary wipes, whatever, antibacterial wipes.
That might have been him. Who knows?
Did you see the kid in the school over here was selling goes on his hand sanitizer 50p?
Yeah.
50.
He's been suspended by school.
Yeah. The best thing was
it.
the best thing was his dad called him a fucking legend.
Yeah, right.
Someone put a post up on Facebook saying something along the lines of, I have like 10 packs of toilet roll and 15 bottles of hand sanitizer looking for a 4-bedroomed house.
Yeah.
Oh, there's your guy. He drove 1,000 miles to hoard supplies. Now he can't find buyers.
Yeah. Because
Why can't you find buyers?
Amazon and eBay has like a strict reselling policy
Move to
during
60.
this pandemic thing, so you can't like make like $5,000 off of like hand sanitizer or whatever, something like that. I mean, good. I mean that's a great thing, but if this guy really wanted to, not be a shitlord, just fucking give that shit away to the people that need it instead of trying to make a buck off of it.
I disagree. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do with it now, but he paid £1,000 for it, $1,000 for it. Can't just give it away.
Yeah, but you can't resell it
at least
either.
he's prepared if this
resell it
shit
either,
goes
well,
on for longer than, anticipated. It's disposable stuff, isn't it? So, I mean, yes, but he needs to see it as an investment. He doesn't need to buy hand sanitizer for the next 25 years.
It was supposed to be a really intelligent investment. Turns out,
Yeah, he didn't think that through.
really work out for him.
Yeah.
Just imagine he'd won a competition or something where he won like a lifetime supply of it.
God.
We had kind of had the discussion last week, I think. I just don't get the panic for toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if the worst comes to the worst, there are other things you could use.
Waffle
Every day.
stomp.
Ah.
What was that?
Waffle stomp.
Waffle stomp. Yeah.
Awful stuff. Yeah.
God.
Or just use a shower head.
Well, that's it, yeah.
I think.
Aw.
Did you say that last week, Will?
Yeah.
I don't want to have a shower every time.
Yeah.
How often do you go?
Enough for it to be a pain if I have to go a second time a day. Like I can time one before I was going to shower anyway. That's not a problem. But if there happens to be a second one, like while I'm at work, well, they have toilet paper. You know what I mean? I don't want to have a second shower just for that.
I understand it's an inconvenience, but
It is.
I still think in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme, I've got some toilet paper now. I'm fine. Just use some tissues. What have you got? Kitchen roll? That'll do.
I like this guy's reaction over here.
Yeah, just don't push it.
He's just eyeballing like all these people. Like, what are you doing? With the pallets and whatnot, like.
Oh, really?
It's just what. That's got to be like a shipping. That can't be like people just actually taking that. I feel. If you ask me.
Someone should just walk past with a match.
Oh God. Oh no. That's a.
You're like the Joker in the Dark Knight. You just want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
I want to see the disinfectant wipes burn.
Yeah.
I actually went food shopping today, and I went to a Lidl, and thought, there's no bread here. That's funny. It's all right. I'll go to Tesco in a bit, get some bread there. That's
Well, you thought.
that didn't happen.
Next you're gonna tell me.
Turns out Tesco had no bread, no rice, no pasta.
Next you're gonna tell me they didn't have any milk.
Actually, milk was fine.
Oh. Okay.
Milk
Yeah,
was
because
all right.
milk goes off.
Yeah.
So does bread.
God.
Yeah, I suppose. But you can
I-
freeze bread. And
You
I
can.
don't think people are going to freeze milk, but I mean, they could.
I
But
wouldn't recommend it.
no, it's not something that.
So I was really surprised. I ordered my shopping online a day or so ago to be delivered today. And I got everything I asked for. Literally everything. And normally they miss, you usually don't have something on a good day. But no, everything. I was quite surprised.
Did you have to pay a premium for delivery? Is everyone doing that? Do you have to pay like 20 quid to get it delivered or something?
No, well, with Iceland, it's free if you spend over 25 quid. So
What?
yeah, just get everything from Iceland.
Yeah, you're doing it right.
Yeah, I'm staying now for 2 weeks.
I wish I could work from home. Really do.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for them to announce things are getting worse. No one's allowed to go out. It'd be so nice.
I'm wondering how long it'll be before I have to start working from home.
Imagine. That's the dream, isn't it? Working from home.
It's not as good as you may think.
Yeah, I've done it once or twice, and I find it's too distracting. The slightest thing, you do something else.
But how much work do you actually do at work? Like of an 8-hour day or whatever, how much of that do you think is like actual productive?
Don't know, probably quite a lot.
Really?
I was just going to say, yeah, I'd say that.
Don't know what you're doing at work.
I was just going to say. Your employers listen to the show.
Actually caught up on Elimination Chamber and Dynamite at work this week.
Jesus.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I've got a strange feeling more people are like me than like you. I think if you were to really actually measure how much work people do, it's the least they could possibly get away with.
Yeah, I see that, but it depends what you're doing, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think office jobs look so. It looks like it would be so easy to not do anything. To look
Don't
busy.
ever train to be a doctor.
Yeah, really.
That's
Or
not. That's why
any
I said
kind
office
of
job.
any kind of emergency service, please.
Yeah, I could be a paramedic. Just get that call. We need to go somewhere, and I'll say, well, we could just not.
I'll be there in a minute.
There'll be another one.
I'll be there. Just going through this drive-through.
Let me just watch this Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
They normally last about 45 minutes, so we should be there all right. They're not serious, are they?
Everyone complains about NHS waiting times. What's it going to matter? Another 45 minutes?
Should we get into the prediction game now? We'll get more into the.
Oh, no.
I know.
I
know. We gotta. I mean, we just gotta. We can quickly skim over it, and then we can talk about Raw and Dynamite and SmackDown.
Oh no!
I know. I know.
Why are you doing this to us, Smoot?
It's like, I mean, I don't know. It's like we do this every now and then.
We do occasionally.
On the upside, though, at least, it doesn't seem like there's anything too important going to be happening for the foreseeable future here when it comes to wrestling. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this Elimination Chamber show then. Have you got the stats up on screen? No, not yet.
Hold
At
on.
least not on my feed.
Hang on. There they are. Look at that.
There you go. So going into it, Beans was running away, 4 points ahead, 81 to my 77. Smoot and Will lagging behind, but still 2 shows to go. This being one of them. Pre-show, I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but they added. Was it on the day? Was it actually on Sunday they announced Viking Raiders versus Hawkins and Ryder?
Yes.
It was about an hour before it.
An hour before, right. And we all predicted on Twitter, probably after the match had already finished, but no one watched it, so we all predicted Raiders all got a point.
Yeah, there's no way they weren't winning that.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, come on.
So actually, it turns out me, Beans, and Will all predicted the exact same thing. The whole show, identical.
Oh, for God's sake.
So this is us versus Smoot. This is the show. Daniel Bryan beat Drew Gulak in a match I think it's fair to say is better than anyone expected it to be.
Yeah, it was probably match of the night, honestly. Gulak
Yeah.
should have won.
It was different. Gulak's one of those guys. I think we all know he's kind of good, but I didn't have faith that they'd actually give him 15 minutes to show how good.
Yeah.
They did, and he was solid, but not good enough. So that's points for us, not for Smoot. Maybe next time. Does Daniel Bryan have anything for WrestleMania at the moment, or is it actually just going to be a rematch of this?
It seems like it might be a tag between Gulak and Bryan.
Yeah, it should be an attack, yeah.
From SmackDown, yeah.
No, it'll be something. Humberto Carrillo got a US title shot against Andrade. Sorry, a title opportunity against Andrade. This was announced late as well, I think. At least after Raw. We all predicted Carrillo. We were wrong. This guy can't win matches. We should know by now.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with him.
I thought he was supposed to be like the next guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he shouldn't be challenging for the U.S. title again anytime soon, I feel. With as many shots as he's had, like, come on.
Unless they do a 4-way at WrestleMania with these guys.
I guess, but still, that's kind of pushing
I think
it.
that could be good.
That's kind of pushing it.
It is. It's true. He loses everything. First Elimination Chamber match of the night is the SmackDown Tag Teams, and I think the Usos won on SmackDown, didn't they? The Usos beat Miz and Morrison on the SmackDown going into the show. It came down to those two teams in the end. Smoot predicted Usos, just missed out.
See, I didn't know that because I didn't watch SmackDown that week, and had I known, I probably would have picked Miz and Morrison.
There you go. That was the mistake. Anything else to say about this one? Oh, it's his big bump through the plexiglass.
Yeah, it looked cool, but I don't understand why he was down for so long.
No.
Unless it was just like a lack of cardio.
I found it probably disturbingly funny to see him laying on his back with his arms above his head. I don't know. It just looked comical. It didn't look real.
I like the gust of wind where it knocked all the papers from the Spanish announce table up in the air. That looked pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, he could have just gotten up and got back in there. And helped Tucky back out and, not get eliminated. I don't know.
Lindsay Dorado did a kind of swinging shooting star onto everyone, then immediately got eliminated.
Yeah.
I am so fed up of fucking people standing still waiting for people to jump on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
my big complaint
AEW
with it.
is fucking
They're
absolutely
the worst.
horrendous for it. It's every bloody match.
Yeah.
Between that and fucking Canadian destroyers.
It's true. There's like my two big complaints. There's so many of the same moves used, and it's always a destroyer.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on that, for sure.
Okay, no DQ match. Aleister Black, AJ Styles, the OC got involved. Undertaker evened the odds a little bit, beat up the
I
OC.
hated this.
Aleister Black did hit his move. So he didn't just let Undertaker win the match for him. He still hit his move. That's good. He's learning from Triple H. Don't take the big beat down. You got to hit your own move first. That's what gets it over. Aleister Black wins, setting up a match for the other guy at WrestleMania.
I hated this because the OC just literally stood around outside for the entire duration
For
of the
ages.
match. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a no disqualification match. That, literally, probably the worst no DQ match I've ever seen, which says something considering I saw the one from Raw like 9 years ago where it was like Cena, Curtis Axel, and Curtis Axel won by countout.
Oh yeah.
Because Scott Armstrong randomly turned on ring outs when nobody was looking.
Yeah, that was when. So Curtis Axel, they re-debuted Michael McGillicuddy with a new character, and he beat Cena and Triple H 1 week and the next without actually beating either of them.
Yeah.
It was like a DQ and a count out or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the worst push. Like you're trying. You know, you're giving him wins over big names, but we can all see that they're not real.
Yeah.
And then he fizzled out.
Yep.
Who saw that coming? So Styles lost points for everyone, not for you again, Smoot. It's not your night.
Nope.
And what's Aleister Black doing at the Showcase of the Immortals?
Tagging up with Undertaker.
Against the whole OC?
Yeah. 2-on-3
He'll
handicap.
probably face Daniel Bryan.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I'm down with either of those. Street Profits beat Rollins and Murphy to retain the Raw Tag titles. I can't remember a damn thing that happened here. They just won.
Yeah, they came out, won, that was it.
That was it. And we all got a point for it, because
Hey, it's my
course
first
they
one.
your first one of the night, that and the War Raiders. You're good and tagged.
God.
Yeah, I guess nothing else to say about that one. Then we had Braun Strowman defending the IC title against Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro, because he's a dumbass who just let them change the contract.
Yeah.
At the last minute. He said, I know I'm going to fight you all, and I'm okay with it. Zayn said, okay, well, let's just all be in the match then. And Strowman said, oh, you're going to spin it that way? No, you said it. You said you'd be fine with it. Now it's happening, and that backfired, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, of all people, is your new IC title holder. I guess.
Yay?
What's the Sami Zayn? I don't get the Sami Zayn thing. He doesn't wear his own ring gear anymore.
Yeah, for the longest time he didn't wrestle either.
Right, it's
he
like
was a
someone's
manager.
forgotten that he's an actual wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. I don't know.
Well, I think we all predicted Strowman for that one, so no points for anyone. Yeah. Sami Zayn, that was weird. Okay, then the main event was the women's chamber match. Winner getting a title match against Becky, WrestleMania, and it was obviously going to be Shayna. Shayna Baszler wins, last eliminating Asuka. I think she actually eliminated everyone, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either by submission or knockout, she just beat them all.
There were moments in the chamber where there was nothing happening. She was just pacing around.
Yeah?
Mm.
Like, pretty much. Honestly, like, at the end of the show, it felt like Elimination Chamber doesn't need to be its own pay-per-view anymore. I kind of want it to go back to just a match type that you just will randomly see. Because the way they booked it, it didn't seem like it was necessary to have this show, you know? In my opinion.
They have done it a few times where they name the challenger to the other world title in the Elimination Chamber, which seems like it was going to be the plan this time around, and then they just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, makes it completely pointless. I still don't know why they made that call. Anyway, points all round for Shayna winning. It was a very obvious one. So that means Smoot is in fourth with a gentleman's 3 out of 8. It's respectable in its own way.
I guess. But
And in first,
I like the saying of a gentleman's 3 out of 8.
it is a gentleman's 3. A modest 3.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the rest of us with 6 out of 8. Just the mid-card title matches. Seems to be our difficulty. Which means basically no change at the top. Smoot, you're still behind on 66 out of 126 in total, so still above the 50% mark. Just
Good.
about.
Good.
Will then on 72, me on 83, and Beans on 87. So, WrestleMania, the last show of the prediction season, Beans is going to have to predict first on every match. And then it's up to us, or me, I guess, to predict differently and just hope that it works out.
Yeah, assuming
Oh, is it not better to do it the other way around?
I don't know, because then you could just copy me and win.
Yeah, but I wouldn't copy you.
But you could.
But then at least you... Yeah, but I'm just thinking that if there's a match that's really obvious to pick, and I pick the obvious winner,
Well, so
then you're in a position where...
I'm 4 behind, and according to Big Dave, there's 14 matches on the... whatever, I don't know how definite the card is yet. But he says there's 14 out there. So I can do up to 10 obvious winners, the same as you. But I have to find at least 4 different ones in there that may go one way or the other.
Fair enough.
I think you should do blind predictions.
Just toss a coin for them all.
No, just put your predictions in so the other one doesn't know what you've done.
I think.
We could. Kind of takes
Why
the
do
game
I
out
feel
of it.
like you're just creating a way for me to lose?
Yeah, I can't see that benefit me at all.
I think the biggest match right now heading into WrestleMania is probably coronavirus versus like WWE itself.
Versus WrestleMania.
Yeah, versus
Yeah.
This is the world.
Will WrestleMania even make it to WrestleMania?
Yeah. Good question. Bray Wyatt just sent out this tweet about 15 minutes ago, saying, if WrestleMania gets delayed, The Fiend hereby challenges John Cena to a bar fight death match. This will take place at Hooters. Not kidding. So there you go. Oh my god.
Let's see that.
Who photoshopped this? Well, let me throw this up on the stream if I can. That's pretty funny. Will just send me this link if I can get it up onto the. There we go. Hold on. Ta-da! Coronavirus versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt. There you go. It looks like the Mucinex Goblin.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, looks like the Mucinex Goblin from the commercials.
They've definitely
Looks
used the
like
wrong
a-
font.
It looks like a gone off strawberry.
Yeah, gone very off. Yeah, right.
I think we should follow what other sports organisations are doing and just void the prediction league.
Yeah, that could happen. We could just stop it right at the end here. There's one
Well,
very obvious winner. And
Whatever they do in the Premier League, we'll do in ours. Then,
just delay it indefinitely. And instead of WrestleMania, we'll end it at SummerSlam.
WrestleMania might be SummerSlam with the speech.
Might
Yeah.
be.
I was thinking today, obviously, we want it to happen when it should happen, but I do kind of like the idea of a SummerMania.
Yeah. I mean,
That'd
I'd
be
be
kinda
okay
cool.
with it. I'd be okay with it.
Isn't that what SummerSlam's supposed to be?
Well, yeah. But
Biggest party of the summer, and then it just never really is.
and it's always at the end of summer.
Yeah, that's true. It's at the end of August.
It's always just when you were a kid and you're thinking, oh shit, I go back to school next week.
yeah.
Real quick, hold on. Should we get into like SmackDown since we're already into the whole coronavirus stuff and such?
I haven't watched much of it. I'm trying to get through it as we speak.
I've not watched any of it apart from Triple H go, I'm the game, Triple H.
Yeah, it was pretty much Triple H and Michael Cole in the Performance Center, and probably for Raw as well this upcoming Monday, because they've already formally announced that they are going to be live in the Performance Center here. Let me throw this up on the stream.
Is Austin still going to be on it?
Yeah, they're still advertising him. They were still advertising him on the SmackDown. He's going to be there.
His entrance is going to be very different.
Yeah. I wonder who's going to be tossing him the beers. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Just see Michael Cole just heaving him from underneath the desk at him. See if he's got an arm.
I'd just like to know whether Austin, when he does his entrance, is actually talking a load of shit when he comes out, or whether he's just mouthing it.
But yeah, going back
They'll
to...
censor the crap out of him as he's walking out to the ring, going, "Hey, motherfuckers, I'm gonna kick some ass. Give me some fucking beer."
Yeah, yeah, you got a point, man. I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that. But yeah, SmackDown was kind of just no crowd in the Performance Center. It was just, they were doing their thing, no crowd. One of the most bizarre shows for sure, even on Friday the 13th. And like, it just seems like, they tried. And then they had their backs up against the wall, and they tried to put on the best show that they could with what they had, and they did. It was probably one of the best SmackDowns that I can remember, because he had Triple H out there just kind of like, taking little jabs and whatnot, because like Nikki Cross was trying to get like the hot tag or something, and she was just doing Nikki, and Cole was like, "What do you find so fascinating about Nikki Cross?" And it was like, "Well, for one, she's trying to get the crowd, into this match, for starters." Which, by the way, and again, sorry, this is kind of a spoiler, but like the end of that tag match here had Asuka doing a run-in and taking out Alexa Bliss on the apron, which the referee had to ignore Michael Cole screaming, "There's Asuka!" somehow.
Yeah.
And it made no sense. Why? Maybe Dan English is just deaf. Maybe he's just literally deaf. I don't know. But that was something that happened. At least there was one fan in attendance. As you can see right there at the top of the screen, there was one fan. Yeah, the Performance Center. There you go.
Damn me.
The other thing was like they also.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I actually didn't get that until you zoomed in. So I don't see
Oh,
anyone.
for fuck's sake! Do you know what? Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake.
If you're gonna be funny, there was two, because there was one on the other side as well.
On the entranceway, yeah. But they also had backstage interviews for some reason, and I didn't get it. Like, why would the talent just be roaming around backstage like everything's normal? Like, this was a normal show, when, under normal circumstances, we would have just, been like, okay, sure, they're, chilling out backstage. But they're at the Performance Center, where nobody's there. Like, why?
What
Why
do you
would they
expect
just
them
be...
to do? They have to do something.
Yeah.
I understand that, but, like, just announce that they're having a match or something. Just... I don't know. It just seems unnecessary.
I think they wanted to do as little wrestling as possible.
Yeah.
I get that.
Because it's really awkward. So they want to do these backstage run-ins.
I get that.
But it's like, what? So if you were a sports entertainer and you were called to the Performance Center to do this wacky show, what would you be doing backstage until it's your time to do whatever you're going to do?
Chilling out around catering. Being on my phone.
Right. So now imagine that you're a regular show. What would you be doing there? Probably chilling and catering on your phone, right?
Watching the show backstage awkwardly in front of a TV.
90 degrees from a TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair point.
The best part of that.
Why this would be any different though.
No,
in the
not
locker
really.
room being beaten up by one of the real stars.
It just, I don't know, it was like typical WWE, like with how all the characters were interacting and mingling and doing stuff, as opposed to treating this as like a unique circumstance. You know, like it's just, I don't know. It was just one of the things that stood out. I'm not shitting on what they were doing. It's just how formulaic and how scripted. You know, it's things like that was kind of weird.
Kind of know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely formulaic and scripted. I think every show is. It's one of the big
Did they
complaints.
not have Dean Ambrose fighting through a hospital to get to the performance?
Fighting through a blizzard, just walking through a blizzard.
Yeah.
The best part of that bit you've got up there now, the bit backstage.
Yeah.
What you don't see is they've got a bit after that, Sami Zayn and Nakamura showed up as well.
Yeah.
And then they went back to Triple H. But in that promo, Nakamura said nothing.
Yeah.
And he went back to Triple H and Cole on commentary, and Triple H went, excellent promo skills from Nakamura there.
Yeah. Yeah. Triple H was pretty much like that the entire time. Because there was also like he grabbed like a camera and he was like Cole was like, "What are you doing?" And Triple H is like, "What do you mean? What am I doing?" He gets like a close up of Cole's face. Cole's like, "Don't get a shot of my bald spot." There was also Mojo on commentary for whatever reason.
That was great.
Yeah, he
That was great.
was like, hyping up Gronk for next week.
It's probably the best thing Mojo's ever done.
Yes. Yes. He said that Rob Gronkowski's going to be here on SmackDown, probably at the Performance Center next week. And he was getting so hyped that his microphone was like getting messed up on his headset. And then after Cole fixes it, you know, they both just abuse Michael Cole afterwards.
What the hell?
It was great.
He just started shaking him, saying be hyped, and then Triple H joined in.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth watching. Cole's like, I guess, do I get a bonus for that? What you just did to me? And Triple H was like, no, you don't get a bonus for anything.
Just after that, when he said as well about the news about Gronk,
Yeah.
and Triple H went, why did you just ask me?
Yeah, you would have to get abused. Yeah, also Triple H was drawing on his soul patch, by the way, with the Sharpie. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. There's also Jeff Hardy was in action against King Corbin, and Elias was on commentary, and he started playing the guitar to distract Corbin. And afterwards, Elias was like, "Hunter, what do you think of that strategy?" Triple H, not everybody has the skill with the guitar to play so badly it knocks another man out in the ring. It was good. It was terrific. And also, the finale, the main event, if you want to call it the main event, had John Cena in the ring with Cole doing like a one-on-one interview, and Bray Wyatt came out of nowhere to interrupt. And I personally think this was a missed opportunity of having like the Firefly Funhouse puppets being behind the barricade.
Yeah, that would have been good.
But it was like an intense, intimate promo, and it was super weird not having like any sort of crowd response there. But it was pretty good. So, and it just it was pretty much like John Cena just like burying Bray Wyatt in a way, and then Bray Wyatt was like, "Well, you turned me into what I've become," and such. So
I can't remember who it was. You might remember, Schmidt. It might have been The Miz.
Oh yes. Yes.
It was Triple H said something about this is the best reaction they've ever had.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan was coming out, and Triple H was talking over the ring announcer, Mike Rome or Greg Hamilton, whoever it was. And Cole's like, "You don't talk over the ring announcer. That's the first thing you learn as becoming a commentator." And Triple H is like, "I never went to commentary school." Anyway, that might have been the best promo Miz and Morrison's ever been comfortable with, because they're used to getting no crowd reaction. Like, it was just him just like burying, well, not necessarily burying, but like taking pot shots at the talent. It was hilarious in a way.
I hope he's doing Raw.
Same. I want him to do Raw. In the same manner.
It was a weird show, but it wasn't as weird as it could have been, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It didn't feel totally weird, but it was still weird, if that makes any kind of sense. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was, like I said, the best thing that they could have done to, given the extreme circumstances. Now, what was interesting is that they never said the date for WrestleMania. They just said it was still happening. And they never put over COVID-19 or coronavirus whatsoever either.
I was so surprised that there wasn't some terrible jokes about it.
Well,
didn't Triple H say something about toilet paper?
Yeah, after they took a break from the entirety of the match from Elimination Chamber of the SmackDown Chamber match, they had to take a commercial break, and when they came back, Triple H said something along the lines of, "Well, luckily, Michael Cole made it back in time from the Elimination Chamber here at the Performance Center, because luckily we don't have to make a run on that paper." Or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
So, either way, I liked it. And you probably might see another match or two from Elimination Chamber on Raw, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
So, definitely, if you haven't seen it, definitely tune in. I would definitely tune into Raw this upcoming Monday, but if you can try to watch SmackDown, definitely tune into that one too. It was pretty good. I was trying to not spoil it for Chucks or Beans or anything, Chucks and Beans who haven't seen it yet, but it was pretty good.
I'm trying to kind of fly through it now, and like you said, most of the show seems to be that SmackDown Tag Chamber.
It was a big chunk of it, yeah.
Yeah. There's that couple of backstage things with Zayn's dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hardy is back, so that's cool. It's a spoiler. It's not a big one.
Yeah. It's also called the Twist of Fury, not the
Twist of Fury, because it's like a neck breaker now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the point in even watching it now?
Sorry, Beans. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Triple H's little jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one really good
Hardy
one
thing.
On Sami Zayn too. Yeah.
Presumably, Jeff and Matt both signed new contracts before that WrestleMania, where they came back together. Matt's now gone. So why is Jeff there?
To run out his contract.
But if Matt's contract's already run out, then why does Jeff still have a contract?
Didn't they re-sign again?
Wasn't he? How long has he been out for? Because there was that thing, wasn't it, with you extending contracts?
With a rollover for injury. Could be. Have you been watching the Free the Delete series?
I've seen the last two.
But not the first ones?
I went back since, but I've
good.
seen them. Yeah.
I've only just this week kind of realised that they're a thing. So I watched them all, and they're great.
Yeah, they are really good.
I don't know how... It's not even like they signed Matt, or both of them really, not understanding that that's his thing now. They knew that he was doing this broken gimmick in TNA, and that's why they wanted him. And then they just didn't do it. And now he's gone and he's doing it again, and it's as good as it was before. How can you have a guy like that on the roster who has a gimmick that's over and choose deliberately not to use it?
It's not their idea.
It wasn't about them using that gimmick, though. It was about making sure no one else
does, yeah.
Which is quite sad. But
I just can't make sense of that.
It's one of them, and they don't like it because Vince doesn't like it. Wasn't his idea. It wasn't his creation. So
I'm just not sure how you can run a company like that. If something works, then it's his. You've signed the guy. He's your guy. Doesn't matter whose idea it was. Like, it's it's yours now. Well, just use it. Make some money off of this thing. Why would you not? It's weird. He's a weird man, like Vince McMahon. Don't know if anyone's ever said that before.
He's a weird guy, yeah.
He's got his way of doing things. He's a different cat.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy was interviewed last couple of weeks, and apparently the end of the three of the Elite videos, he wanted the Undertaker involved.
Really?
But obviously WWE wouldn't let him. So yeah, but that was where he wanted it to go. He wanted the Undertaker to be involved.
Can they stop him? Because Taker signed on to do that. Was it WrestleCade or whatever? He was going to do a signing that they weren't happy with him doing.
Oh yeah.
A couple of years ago, and he could. I don't know what his contract deal is, but apparently he could do it.
Didn't he re-sign with them again? Because there was that period, wasn't there, where there was a bit of doubt whether he was back with them or not. And then I think he showed up at one of the Saudi events, didn't he? Soon afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been interesting because there was talk of he could have possibly gone to NXT. Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I heard that was a thing.
I think he would probably have got a bit more freedom down there.
Yeah, but not as much as he'll get in AEW.
Well, no.
If the money is similar, and I guess it will be, then I can't imagine wanting to stay. I can't imagine going to NXT. Like, I don't. How do you think Finn Balor feels about being in NXT now? Because the freedom must be nice, but if you're only making your like downside guarantee and like there's no hope for anything more, and you're obviously not on any kind of no one's watching that show. It's just no one's really watching any of the shows.
Well, isn't he? The rumor was that he was still on main roster money, but he's in NXT now.
Well, it's his own contract, so you wouldn't get any like house show bonuses or presumably pay-per-view bonuses if that's still a thing. He would make like the bare minimum of his contract, whereas everyone else would be making more. Like, and his like merchandise, I guess his audience for merch sales isn't anywhere near as big.
I mean, I suppose it's a little bit like Daniel Bryan. He's done that much outside WWE. He's probably a bit knackered though. I'm probably quite happy with the
schedule. I can imagine, the schedule and the freedom for sure, and the kind of matches you can have there. Being the bigger fish too, he's featured a lot better.
Yeah.
Speaking of AEW and whatnot, I watched AEW from its normal time slot, but that's when all sorts of stuff was going down in like the span of an hour, so I was kind of distracted by the news of the travel ban that's in effect for 30 days, the NBA canceling its not canceling, but suspending its season for the time being for at least 30 days, and Tom Cruise and Rita Wilson being stuck in Australia with the coronavirus being
Tom Hanks
having it. Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. What did I say?
Tom Cruise.
Oh, I said Tom Cruise. I'm sorry. Fuck. Holy shit.
I was like, what the hell's she doing with Tom Hanks?
Right? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Tom Hanks. Sorry.
Sorry.
He's currently sat in a quarantine room with a Wilson ball that the doctors gave him.
It's gonna be interesting to see how like serious people are gonna treat this whole thing, depending on the outcome of them having it. I feel, because if they end up being fine, then I think everybody's just gonna be like, all right, well, whatever, we can go back to normal now. We don't need to use all this toilet paper. You know, things like that. It's I don't know. I still think some of this is I do think a lot of it's overblown by the media, and you don't really need to be hoarding toilet paper like it's a goddamn currency, like it's butt coin, like I've seen some people say it is.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
But at the same time, I mean, you should probably get soups and orange juice and all this stuff and whatnot. So
Bought an extra tin of beans, leave me alone.
Yeah, extra can of beans. There you go.
That's the best thing about going shopping today is seeing like all the bread and pasta and toilet rolls. Obviously, they're all gone. Hand sanitizers, obviously, that's premium now.
Yeah.
But orange juice, so much orange juice.
Yeah.
No one wants the orange juice.
Vitamin C, man.
Yeah.
Get you cold medicine, whatnot, all that stuff. So. Also, speaking of AEW, they're going to be holding some shows in Jacksonville, at Daly's Place, where the entrance ramps on that weird corner thing.
Oh yeah.
With no attendance as well, so it's going to be. It's definitely for the foreseeable future. Empty crowds for both WWE and AEW should be interesting to see how it's going to be. I think also Blood and Guts might have been pushed back a little bit. I think, as well. We'll see. Also, pretty much they revealed the rules for that, which is pretty much War Games, but you can't win by pinfall, only submission or I think knockout or something like that.
Didn't AEW say, and they might have changed it since then, but didn't they say that it's going to be a restricted attendance or something?
I think they changed it. Yeah.
Did they change it?
It might be no attendance here at this point. I'll just take a look here in just a sec.
It would make sense if they have changed it, but
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been happening on AEW's front as well. So.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, just going back to Mania, I don't see how it can happen now, especially with this travel ban. Because you've got. I mean, I know a lot of fans come from the US, but you've still got a big chunk of fans coming from Europe and the UK. If they can't get there, then.
Well, every year they say there's fans in attendance from 80 countries and 50 states, and
they want to be able to get away with, they want to be able to get away with that. So I feel like they're probably going to wait until that travel ban's done so they can have all those people from all over the place once this thing clears up. That's the other thing is you kind of have to hope for this to end and then all the sports comes back.
Well, I was thinking this yesterday. If that's, fingers crossed. We're clean of it fairly soon, and then all these sports in the summer.
Yeah,
there's going to be chaos of sports. Football every day. WrestleMania.
It would have to be like football every day. I'm not a baseball fan.
Again, so his team can play in the Euros.
Don't they play baseball every day or 5 days a week or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
The same teams play constantly. I don't know if you can get away with that in other sports.
Well, it's gonna legitimately though. You're gonna have Formula One's not starting up till May or June or whatever. Mm-hmm. A lot of the golf, they've delayed the Masters. That's gonna be around at the same time. You know, everything at the same time. It'd be crazy. It'd be great
I think Sky Sports and BT Sports should be giving refunds to customers for the next few months, seeing as they've got fuck all to show us.
Well, apparently someone asked them and they said, no, we're not going to.
Yeah, cheeky shit.
Yeah. And BT are just filling the stuff with WWE. Because that's all they've got.
Yeah, not even got that. Give it another week.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, you are correct, Will. It is a restricted attendance for AEW, yes.
Is it?
So.
See, that's what I didn't get about SmackDown. I mean, I say it was a good show, but could he not have filled it with the trainees or someone, or
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Some of the rookies can be in attendance.
Disposable people.
Yeah. Let's have a crowd of people of all this stuff.
The whole crowd is plants.
Yeah.
Everyone just cheering really hard for John Cena.
Yeah.
Especially for a big show like SmackDown and Raw, I just would have made a bit of a better atmosphere. But I mean, obviously, I understand why they couldn't do that. So you can't have a proper crowd there.
I'd like
They're
to
just
see.
not trying hard enough.
I'd like to see like just Vince McMahon and maybe like Pat Patterson and Steph, or like just 3 people, almost like everyone's wrestling to a panel of judges, and just get the real time reaction of like thumbs down. This guy's not big enough. Get him out of here.
Like X Factor.
Yeah.
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 Well, not the X Factor. I mean, I don't need to see
No.
Just Incredible again. Don't need to hear that theme music either.
That was
With
great
all this-
theme music.
What's that?
That was great theme music.
What, Uncle Cracker?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure X-Pac liked that theme music.
I can tell you that he probably 100% didn't.
I think I've actually
I mean,
heard
you
him say that.
probably don't like your theme music as a standard once you've heard it 200 million
Wow.
times. Can you imagine?
That song. He actually said he did like that it was so different to everyone else's.
Yeah, that's political.
Well, all these travel bans from I don't know, all around the US, I guess, and that's one of the big, and China too. How smug do you think Greta Thunberg is?
Oh God.
It's like, I got it done. We need to take action now. They've taken action.
Well, we're laughing. Did you see the pollution map from China?
I bet it's cleared right.
It's yeah.
The hole in the ozone has shrunk right down.
No pollution from like while they were in lockdown. Crazy. And I think the same's happening in Italy as well. Because of no one's going out.
That's all it took.
Crazy.
Basically, the Earth's fighting back.
Or conspiracy. It was actually Extinction Rebellion that caused this.
Well.
It's a big step up from standing on a fucking bridge.
Yeah, I guess they realised that wasn't doing anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to add real quick or anything like that.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what
Yeah.
to expect
Don't know
with
what's
anything.
Yeah. Unknown. WrestleMania, it still seems to be going on as scheduled as far as we know. I'm pretty sure I've seen some rumblings saying that if WWE doesn't do something, I think Tampa will quote unquote pull the plug on it.
I think the thing I read was that it's kind of clever, really, but the WWE are waiting for Tampa to make the decision because then they can claim on insurance.
Wow.
Because it's
Yeah,
not
it's
their
in the deal
decision.
that I think Tampa would have to pay all the tickets back, right?
Yeah.
Instead of them doing it, whatever it would be. Yeah, well, that's a way of handling it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like ignoring it until someone else makes a decision.
Just keep advertising it with no date or location.
Yeah.
Until whatever the show happens.
I'm sure they'd host it in the beautiful city of Jeddah, right?
Oh, God. I've seen some people say that. It's like, go to Saudi Arabia.
No, they're just going to turn around and, like, when they refer back to that Saudi Arabia show of Crown Jewel, they're just going to call that WrestleMania.
That was WrestleMania. That show.
The greatest
That wonderful
WrestleMania.
event where Goldberg came back at WrestleMania and won the title.
Yeah.
We always said it was as big or bigger than WrestleMania. It turns out
It replaced it.
it really was.
The greatest WrestleMania.
It's really not the greatest.
No.
Like, the card that we've got so far, if this didn't happen, do you think anyone would be disappointed?
I would.
It's missing some dream matches, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. Like, the biggest thing on here is that if this was cancelled, we wouldn't get our first ever British world champion. And I'm okay with it. He's only Scottish anyway. It barely counts.
Jeez.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, they're going to be independent soon enough. He won't even be one of us. It's whatever. Not like it was Wade Barrett.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Yeah, this WrestleMania, I'm whelmed at best.
Not overwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed with it. It does not feel like WrestleMania. The past few WrestleManias haven't felt like WrestleMania. So
No.
I mean, AJ and The Undertaker would have been awesome if it was like 8 years ago.
Well, yeah.
I think you can say that about any Undertaker match. Instead of facing like Shawn Michaels like 3 times or Triple H twice, those could have been like Sting, AJ Styles, things like that, you know.
I'd kind of be more interested in the Taker match if he came back as the Biker Taker.
I did wonder whether that might have been a route they were considering going down with the way that they brought Michelle McCool into.
Yeah, it kind of made him feel a bit more human. So,
Well, that and the Stone Cold podcast he did.
well, yeah.
And he was just a guy there, and he's done those weird shows with that Pastor guy, Pastor Ed or whatever his name is.
Pastor guy.
I thought
Yeah,
you
the,
said,
the Pastor guy.
I thought you said pasta.
He
Oh
did
my
some
god.
interviews with Chef Boyardee.
Oh, Jesus. Thought I'd become an ambassador for Hello Fresh.
Yeah. Now I want the Undertaker on a box of pasta now. God. Yeah, Pastor Ed. Yeah. Oh. That guy was not good at doing interviews. Oh man, I don't know.
They're still doing this contract signing on Raw on Monday, apparently.
Yeah.
So
Contract signing with that. Also, next week on Friday, Goldberg and I believe Roman Reigns with the contract signing as well. So.
Can't they do emails?
Have they heard of social distancing? Can't they
Digital.
work from home and just they do this contract signing by Skype conference?
I mean, technically Goldberg was at home when the Fiend challenged him, or he challenged the Fiend or whatever. So, digital signatures. How about that?
yeah,
Let's do that. Get one of those like fancy touchpads or whatnot. And just get him to sign. Do that or something. I don't know.
none of it affects Undertaker anyway. He's already dead.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
yeah, it's very true.
That's got to be really awkward if he gets coronavirus.
Yeah.
Could they just have all of the wrestlers wear lucha masks? Would that help at all? Give everyone
Also,
like a,
as well,
like
I don't.
once, yeah.
If Undertaker does get coronavirus, I don't think his old promo line of he's crippled more people than Paulio is going to go down very well.
Oh God. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. We'll be back. I can't think of anything else.
They were kind of hitting on Raw last week that this could be a casket match.
Oh my God.
I think plans might be changing.
Yeah, I agree. Because like AJ Styles,
I'm going to put you in self-isolation.
Didn't AJ say he was going to take the life of the Undertaker, and then he had to like correct himself on the spot and just be like, "Well, more like the soul."
Well, he said both. I'll take his life. I'll take his soul.
I'm going to kill you.
You've already
Oh,
said that
great.
now.
He's going to have a death match.
Yeah.
When Taker comes out in the last couple of years, he had the all the caskets for his past victims.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He'll have that on the stage, but they're just there just in case.
Let them have the bar death match at a Hooters somewhere. Jeez Louise. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna laugh.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you can do. Yeah, Raw was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but I mean,
It was terrible.
yeah, I mean, par for the course. But I mean, at the very least, it's at the time being, the last one WWE show with an actual stadium and audience, not counting the Performance Center with NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah, I think we're going to get out of here. Hopefully we'll be back next week with something. It might be just the battle of the empty arenas between AEW and WWE for sure. We'll see what happens.
They announced the Exalted one for Dynamite this week.
That's right. Well,
he's actually going to be there.
He's actually he's going to be revealed, whoever it is. Who do you think is going to be? That's a quick prediction. How about that? Who do you think is going to be? Is it going to be Christopher Daniels, somebody else?
It can't be Chris Daniels now. And if it's not Matt Hardy, it has to be someone better than Matt Hardy. I'm not sure who that would be.
Brody Lee?
I can't imagine him leading a faction.
I mean, it supposedly was supposed to be Raven because somebody slowed down they corrected the audio to speed it up at the right speed, and it sounded like Raven talking to that spokesperson guy and whatnot. There was also, hold on, let me see if I can pull this up here. There was also Christopher Daniels doing that piece on, he was mocking the Dark Order by, doing all the hallmarks and such. And there was a brief moment where you've put up the like a graphic of who is the Exalted One. And I don't know if you saw this here, but I caught it, and I was watching on the Watch TNT app, and I was able to rewind it. You notice the headlines here, who's the Exalted One, locally based cult known as the Dark Order, has been causing a commotion as of late. But who are they really? What are their goals? And why are so many downtrodden individuals turning to the Exalted One? Mysterious local cult, blah, 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 blah. And then over here, you zoom in on it, compound survives fire. A compound in the woods was recently set ablaze. The cause of the fire is still unknown. It's hard to read, but also faulty fireworks, two brothers. Makes you wonder. Two brothers with the fireworks on their compound. Interesting. So, I thought it was pretty cool.
Who went to the Wyatt compound that time? That wasn't the Usos, was it?
Oh, no, it was a New Day.
It was New Day, yeah.
I think it was New Day, yeah. And they had a camera crew over there. Whatnot. Oh, by the way...
And the Orton went around for a fridge.
That fridge, damn it.
Oh, also before the show, I know you guys were talking about the soccer team playing tic-tac-toe on Twitter. They've now, if you look at this here, they've now commenced Connect 4, I believe. Vancouver Whitecaps and the Colorado Rapids here.
Yeah, Hull City were playing Bayer Leverkusen.
That's the only time that's ever going to happen.
Well, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There's no way that anyone's going to win that, surely.
You never know.
You got so much time to think about the moves that...
Could end in a draw, just like tic-tac-toe.
I think it will end in a draw.
There you go. All right, well, we'll be back next week, like I said, with something. Hopefully we'll be here, and we'll be here to talk about it. So we'll see you then. Stay safe.
When we're all in isolation, we're doing this daily.
Yeah, oh, God. Anyway, take care, stay safe, don't hoard toilet paper, wash your hands, and all that, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Good night.
Bye-bye.